I think, we need to talk about what everybody is talking about, which is artificial intelligence. And how and where does that leave us? Is this something that is applicable to them, not applicable to them? A lot of people keep asking me, will it mean job losses? And I really wanted to discuss that with you and to understand where you see it. Because in my mind, it is nothing like job losses. In fact, it's like creating a workforce that is unlimited, and obviously any company would like to have an unlimited workforce. They can't afford it. That's the main problem. But AI is one area which can actually increase the capabilities of your workforce so that it begins to feel like unlimited. And that can bring them a lot of advantage.
Certainly, ma'am. And I would like to talk about AI, in a sort of a progressive manner, and sort of look at some of the trends that we've seen in the sort of SME segment, AI being one. I think one broad level trend that we've seen is the trend of digitization. And it's not new, it's been there for a long time. And while COVID was a tragic sort of a tragic story, but what it did is that it accelerated the digitization journey of all enterprises, including small and medium enterprises. We've seen organizations trying to improve the efficiency, productivity of their back-end systems. We've also seen organizations, perhaps who are even more progressive, who are looking at digitizing, the customer sort of interface, right? And perhaps they are the ones who are reaping the most benefits out there. As a subset of this digitization initiative journey, we've seen adoption of cloud as a big trend in small and medium sort of enterprises. And in fact, there's a recent primary research that we did where we found that 1 in every 5 small and medium enterprise has shifted more than 50% of their workloads
onto the
cloud. And typically the workloads that they are transferring are those of customer service, customer support, demand generation, which is a key challenge, security is another sort of a challenge. And the combination of what they're doing is helping them sharpen their strengths. Their strengths are of flexibility, agility, leading on to innovation. And on the other hand, they are helping them nullify some of the weaknesses that they have vis-a-vis large enterprises, which are one of, giving a sort of a integrated customer experience, customer journey, and that of scale, right? So clearly, cloud digitization is helping them unlock newer opportunities, newer markets. And the next kid on the block is certainly sort of AI, and AI has been on the sort of discussion tables for ever since ChatGPT sort of burst onto the scenes in 2022. But perhaps it's only recently that you are seeing deployments which are adding value. And I can talk about sort of direct experience where we've created this sort of practice within our organization, managed services, where we've done some OpenAI sort of deployments, and we are amazed at the width of industries which are adopting this, right? So the common notion or the idea that we have is that people who have a lot of customers, say like retail or e-commerce, where the customer interactions are a lot, would gain from, adoption of AI use cases. But we have examples where a small real estate firm, with a, very, I would say, a fairly modest set of customers is deploying AI because they want to improve their engagement with the customers. So literally, I think we are seeing AI as a continuation of a sort of a bigger trend, which allows small and medium enterprises to understand their customers better, customize, in a sense, products and services, deliver them better. But that is just out of a limited vantage point. And your vantage point, ma'am, is like huge with Salesforce at the forefront of AI revolution, and your prominence in different geographies. And I would certainly would like to hear from you, on the evolvement of AI, and also sort of to, sort of kill the notion that AI is only for large enterprises.
Absolutely. So, you know something, you talked about the cloud. And actually, what the cloud did was lower the bar of entry for the small and medium enterprises into the digitized world. Otherwise, if you look at it, if you want to keep everything on prem, the amount of capital that you would need to expend on servers, on hardware, was really proving to be a bar for the entry of the small and the medium sector into digitization, because digitization needs a lot of compute power, needs a lot of storage space. Now, all of that, if you're going to provide internally, it again is a capital guzzler.
Yeah.
Okay, and you create a lot of technical debt, which you really need to sort of sweat those assets
Yeah.
over a long period of time. And today, the speed of evolution of technology is such that you just may not get that time. You need a better and better server capacity, compute capacity, and all of that. So you might get stuck over there. So therefore, the quicker you go onto the cloud, the lower is the entry barrier. And that has actually empowered a lot of the SMEs to start on their digitization journey. There was originally, of course, fear regarding security. And that, I think, has been more or less addressed, in the sense that they now realize that the cloud players, for them, this is their business. They cannot afford, for that to be lowered. And for players like us also, our biggest value is trust. Okay, and trust means that you need to trust, as a customer, you would trust me with your data, because your data remains your own, even though it may be sitting on the cloud that I am handling, or on my infrastructure, or on a third party infrastructure. That third party will ensure that your data remains your own and is looked after in the same manner that I would look after my own. Okay, so that is one piece that I think more or less the market now has understood and accepted. But what has happened to AI is, we started the AI journey in 2014. And in 2014, what happened is, we first put up our Einstein engine, which is our AI engine, and we started on the predictive AI journey, which is the first wave of AI. So in the predictive journey, we were collecting all the historical data. We were sort of putting it together, harmonizing it, and then making predictions as to how you should behave with which segment of customers. So we were into segmentation, we were into prediction, we were into all of this. The second wave, as you rightly said, of the AI was the generative AI, which is the open AI piece. Okay, when ChatGPT burst on the scene, so to speak, we realized that this, while ChatGPT works fine for the retail customer, that is for the B2C, but it is not a B2B product. Okay, in the sense that in a B2B product, the element of trust, as I said, has to be addressed. Okay, so you have to make sure that your data is not going out. You have to make sure that whatever is the output that is being given, it doesn't have bias, it doesn't have toxicity, it doesn't have hallucinations. Because if you don't really point the engine towards various kinds of reliable data sources, it could actually pick up something which may not be true, and therefore on the basis of that hallucinate. So we had to come up with a very robust trust layer, and that is precisely what we did when we launched the Copilot. And the Copilot is basically something that goes alongside of you, helping you do your job faster. So you want to write an email, you immediately give a response to an email. It will be able to provide you the email as long as you are able to tell it what to look, how to write it. And then you can make it more formal, less formal, as though it's coming from somebody like a partner and not really from a vendor. So all of those things could be done. But what I think Salesforce did well was that we didn't rest there. We added on a reasoning engine on top of the AI engine, and that we called Atlas. And what the reasoning engine has done now is to provide agents which are more or less autonomous. Okay, so given the kind of job that you give it and the remit of that job with the guardrails, it will be able to do that on its own. And which is why I was talking about the unlimited workforce. A lot of people tell me, what about, people being laid off, this, that, and the other, like I told you. But I feel like telling them, you probably have a call center. Now that call center today is making your customer wait sometimes for 2 minutes, sometimes for 10 minutes. Now instead of making your customer wait, if it's something that's very simple, why don't you use agents that will be able to not only respond in a much more empathetic manner, but also trigger certain jobs, routine jobs, so that your wait time comes down from 2 minutes to 20 seconds or 10 seconds, and that would immediately improve the customer experience, right? Today one of the biggest problems we have with MSMEs, and I'll give you a very recent example that I had. I bought one of these robo mops. Nowadays you have these disc like things wandering around your house, doing your sweeping and mopping. The first one I got was during COVID, when we didn't have any household help, and that time there was none that were available in India. Okay, I had to get one that was available in India but literally built abroad. Didn't have a service center. So the first sign of trouble, I had to abandon it because there's no servicing. So next time I was very, very careful. I insisted that I buy something with a service center in India. All right. Now the fact of the matter is, like in any other MSMEs, they had a wonderful product. I've not had a problem with the product, but the servicing was terrible. Absolutely terrible. Trying to get to the service center and trying to get them to understand what my problem is. And these are the areas where, actually speaking, agents would do a great job. Means every time I interact with their service center, I feel like telling them, please come and take our agents. You would do so much better. Because, first of all, the people who are coming in to address these, they are not paid a great sum. As a result, they're not very familiar with the engineering behind the products. All right. They don't know all the things that, the product can do. They're not very well able to handhold. Whereas if you give an agent a product catalog, the agent will be completely able to internalize that product catalog very, very quickly, and will be able to tell you, if you have simple questions, how do I map the rooms? Okay. What if I want to break after each room and do it separately? All of these things, the agent would be very, very quick in order to respond to you, send you the right kind of videos so that you know how to do it yourself, handhold you through the entire experience. But our MSMEs are still not aware that this is possible and feasible. And I'd love to make them aware of the huge, opportunity in front of them if they can do that.